Welcome to Bleav in Rams, part of the Bleav Network. Erin Coscarelli back with you. Be sure to subscribe, comment, rate, follow this podcast. You can catch us on Bleav TV. Follow us on all the socials. We're going to talk latest Rams news, and there has been a plethora of it the last few weeks. Things that have been really interesting for me that has come up in the news cycle about Matthew Stafford. I'm going to just kind of vent here for a moment because these last 2 weeks, especially since Super Bowl, there's a lot to get to. But first, let me give you this quick ad read. Bet Online, world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for online betting in 2025. So whether you're a seasoned fan, a first-time bettor, get in on Bet Online. It is your ultimate game day companion. They've got the latest selections of odds on everything: NBA, college, NHL, UFC. Bet Online is your number one sports betting source for all things, especially heading into the new year. Check on Bet Online, okay? The game starts here. Underdog Fantasy. So let me tell you about it really quickly, okay? First of all, Underdog Fantasy is truly the easiest place to play fantasy sports. So all you do is pick higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money. I recently made 6 picks with $50. I had a chance to win over $1,100, okay? So let's give you a special promo. You can get in on the action. Your promo code is BLEAVRAMS, BLEAV Rams. This promo code gives new users a free pick and up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Play along with us and make some money. And one of the things that I'm betting on at this point, and let me just sort of give you some background, okay? During Super Bowl, I was there in New Orleans, and I was working with Bleav. We had an amazing time on Radio Row. Awesome interviews. We had Marshall Falk, Low Neal, everybody who was anybody, of course, was there. And one of the things that happened that Monday, the Monday before the Super Bowl, Cooper Kupp announces on social media that the Rams are looking to trade him. Now, Kupp is 31 years old, hasn't had a full season healthy since 2021. People were very disappointed by the fact, fans for sure, about the news that Cooper said on social media. But it makes sense. I mean, we understand Cooper's role in this offense, and now that Puka and what we're seeing in Puka, obviously, Rams have to make a tough decision. And Sean McVay said during the offseason, they want to try to diversify the offense. Okay. Are they going to end up finding a trade partner? Hopefully for Cooper, because things might be real awkward in the event he ends up staying with the Rams now that they've been vocal, apparently, in communicating to Cooper that he is, in fact, on the trade block. They're trying to find somebody to be a match for Cooper Kupp. One thing we didn't see coming necessarily was Cooper and potentially Stafford could leave the Los Angeles Rams. I reported yesterday that the Rams gave Stafford's team permission to talk to other teams during Super Bowl week, which is a little surprising, being that their quarterback, the LA Rams quarterback, and the team earned themselves the NFC West crown, okay? Back-to-back seasons, they have seen the postseason. A little surprising that the Rams front office would allow Stafford and his team to talk to other franchises. Okay, first and foremost, that was a bit interesting. The other bit that is very fascinating to me, that I've been sort of conspiracy theory talking to people with regards to the Rams. On Monday, which was yesterday, Peter Schrager on GMFB, who is very good friends with Sean McVay, reported on the show that the Rams were borrowing money from other years to pay Stafford last season. They are not, according to Peter Schrager, they are not going to give him a pay bump. Okay. Now, this is speculation from somebody who is very close to McVay and the organization. Why would Peter Schrager say that if maybe this is where the conspiracy theory comes in? If he is not sending a message to Matthew Stafford and his team. He basically told Stafford and his team yesterday that the Rams are not going to make a deal. If you're Stafford and you're his agent, how do you process that information? Okay, cool. So now it sounds like to me, the Rams are pretty clear that they're not going to restructure too significantly Matthew Stafford's deal. And it sounds like from sources, Stafford wants to be paid in the $50 million pay club. He is not. He is not even in the top 9. And Stafford, along with Jalen Hurts, are the only 2 quarterbacks who have a Super Bowl ring now. Here's the big question as I rant and vent, because it's very fascinating. I'm actually more fascinated behind the scenes than I am with the actual amount of money that these quarterbacks are getting paid. Stafford is 37 years old. He just turned 37. I want to say he turned 37 this month in February, okay? There are so many factors that are going into why this deal and what's going to end up happening in LA is very important, okay? So let's break this down. Stafford's team said during Super Bowl week, you can talk to other franchises. 4 teams apparently are very interested. Let's run through them. The Giants, the Raiders, the Browns, and the Steelers. The Giants, the Raiders, the Browns, and the Steelers. Boomer Esiason said something interesting. And while we can't compare Rodgers and Stafford head to head, obviously Rodgers is older. Rodgers is coming off that Achilles injury from the previous season. And as we've seen with him in the Jets, things didn't go so swimmingly, right? Lost both their head coach and their GM in the same season. So Stafford's not exactly Aaron Rodgers, but the Rodgers experiment that happened in New York, why would even the Giants leverage their future on a guy that may only be a Band-Aid for 2 seasons? Why would he go and deal with the New York media? The New York media is tough, guys. They want results. Why Boomer Esiason said, and it's interesting. He's like, the Giants are not a Matthew Stafford away from a championship. They've got to figure things out with their offensive line. And by the way, if you're 37 years old and you've got 2 more years left, let's say, give or take, where are you going to a team where offensive line issues are an issue? I just don't see it with the Giants. And for sure, they're not going to give up that 3rd overall pick. But Stafford wants to get paid. And, I think let's take the Saquon Barkley experiment. A lot of Giants fans upset that Saquon left and went to a division rival in the Eagles. I mean, livid, of course, understandably. But I also see the player's perspective. The player is playing a physical game, a tackle sport. They want to go where they feel valued and they get the most bang for their buck. It's not always the case, because you can make the case for Stafford that he wants another Super Bowl championship. Maybe he wants to retire with the Rams, which again, we all kind of thought if they're giving up Cooper, for sure they're keeping Stafford. But here's the other thing. As I vent and I rant, and I'm sorry, but today is just a day where there's so much Matthew Stafford talk. It's crazy. I don't think anybody really saw that we would be here. Maybe Stafford did. I don't know. And maybe Lesney did. As we've seen in years previous, let's just take the Baker Mayfield experiment. Baker went to Sean McVay And Sean essentially revived his career, right? He had that season, he had that huge game against the Raiders. He had like a week with the playbook. McVay said, no way Baker's going to play. Well, Baker played, threw the game winning touchdown, yada, yada, yada. The Rams end up winning. But Baker came and he was like sort of tossed around, right? He spent some time with the Panthers. It just seemed like he needed somebody to sort of rejuvenate his career. There is no better head coach, in my opinion, that can do that than a Sean McVay. So maybe that's what he's thinking. Maybe Sean McVay is thinking, hey, I can do it with anyone. Uh, you know, I figured it out with Jared Goff. I did it with Baker Mayfield. Maybe he's thinking, hey, we got Jimmy G here. We paid Jimmy G 10 million bucks. I don't know. Or of course he can get a discount in bringing a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I think Sean McVay is so good as a head coach and a quarterback whisperer. I think he's confident he can make anything work. And I think that's his leveraging power with Matthew Stafford. Stafford has 4 kids, 4 daughters. His wife seems to love Los Angeles. She's got a very popular podcast that there has been speculation, we don't know for sure, but that the Rams can be frustrated by how vocal she is with her podcast with regards to her husband, and how I think she even was, pretty disappointed with the Cooper Kupp situation, understandably. But there's been speculation, much like how the Jets didn't like that Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show, speculation that the Rams don't love how vocal she is. Okay, well, we don't know that to be true. We don't know that to be true. But they seem to really like LA. So to pick up and move your entire family and go to a team like, as we mentioned, the Giants, the Steelers, the Browns, the Raiders. To me, the Raiders are an interesting position. I really like what they've done. I grew up in Los Angeles. I went to USC at the time. Pete Carroll was our head coach. I have a bias towards him. I think what Pete Carroll is able to do in terms of being a player's coach, in terms of, he did it in Seattle, right? In terms of turning around an organization, bringing in a winning culture, right? Now you have Tom Brady who's overseeing everything. I could see Stafford really going to the Raiders and being happy there, right? It's a great place to play. Obviously in Allegiant, they're making moves that show they want to win now. But does it make sense? And the thing is, the Rams are contenders now. Does Stafford want to go to a place where there is a rebuild? I don't know. And again, this is why I think these conversations that we have, even when the season is over, are vastly important, because it's setting the tone and an understanding of what these players want as they look to get closer to retirement. And you can't blame Stafford, who can still sling it. Why would he want to leave Los Angeles? I don't know. You have Puka there. You figured out finally the issues with the offensive line. Your defense is on the up and up. Why would Stafford want to leave LA? Now, I understand both sides. I think the Rams have to make a smart decision as they look to the future, which is what Les Snead does very well. And Les Snead, I posted it yesterday, a few weeks ago, okay? He talked about that they would be open to taking calls. And I want to say it was Mike Florio and Chris Sims. Maybe it was yesterday. I want to say it was yesterday. Mike Florio said Stafford wants to go where he's appreciated. And he was surprised that when that question was asked by a reporter to Les Snead, that you wouldn't have said, absolutely not. Stafford's going to stay in a Rams jersey. We're happy. We're going to keep him. But I don't know if I agree with that. I think This is a bottom line business. It's not personal, it's business. And the NFL has to do, teams have to do what makes the most sense with their future. And if you look at the Rams this year, there's an infusion of both youth and veteran, right? There's some guys that are a little bit on the older side, and you're seeing that this team is really becoming a young, fast moving franchise in a positive direction. I want to say heading into the season, the Rams had the second youngest roster. Okay. And they've had to figure things out. They lost Aaron Donald last year. They made incredible moves trying to adjust and patch up the void that was left by number 99. The Rams have to think about the future, and they know how valuable a franchise they are. They know they have Sean McVay. They know they have Les Snead. They know they have Puka Nacua. They know they have Kyron. They're going to make, again, I think another killer swing at the draft, which is coming up in April. The combine's in a few days. Look, I'm just trying to give you all the information. You guys at home make your own assessment. And of course, let us know what you think. I'm so curious what the fans think. I think the fans also agree there's absolutely no way Stafford's going to get $50 million with a first round pick. But maybe the Rams get a second round pick for him. Maybe they don't get a first round pick. You have to listen to all of your offers. And I think the thing that was really interesting, okay, is during Super Bowl week, it's like letting your girlfriend go out and test the market. You're so confident, like go talk to other people. Go out on dates. Well, okay, well, if she finds a better match, she may leave you. I just find it really hard to believe there is a better boyfriend out there than the Rams. This is an organization that is a win now organization. They just came off the NFC West title. They're on the up and up. The defense is getting better. You know, they're going to find a sort of like a 1-2 punch to the Kyron Williams running back situation. I think I think this is a very tough, but understandably, you have to weigh all your options if you're Matthew Stafford. They made a lot of coaching changes. Happy to read some of them off for you guys. But this is what happens during the offseason. This is what makes the NFL undefeated, because even after the Super Bowl ends, so much speculation and wonderment about where these players go and why. And look at how it worked out for Saquon last year. I'm going to read this Jordan Rodriguez from The Athletic, her tweet yesterday. The Rams have added Scott Huff, tight ends, Drew Wilkins, pass rush coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, senior offensive assistant, Dan Shamash, game management. They re-added Jimmy Lake as the senior defensive assistant, and they officially announced Nate Shilhassie's promotion to pass game coordinator and Mike Munchak as a consultant. So we've got the combine this Thursday. And one of the things that both Sean McVay and Les Snead had seemed to communicate and convey to the media is they are hoping to get clarity from Stafford very soon so that they can make the right decisions for them. But this is where we're at. Today, it is Tuesday, February 25th. And as of now, a lot of speculation of what is going to happen with Matthew Stafford. Do you guys believe he should be paid like a top 10 quarterback? Because he is not even touching the top 9. In fact, I put out a video that I don't think he's even in the 20 million. He's not even within the 20 million marker of what the top quarterbacks are making per year. But they readjusted his contract last year. Again, per Peter Schrager, just to wrap all of this up, said on GMFB yesterday that they are not going to restructure or give him a pay bump. That sounded like to me a message to Stafford and his team. And as we continue this news cycle of where is Stafford going? Is he going to stay or is he going to walk? All of this is interesting insight to glean on as we wonder if the 37-year-old quarterback is going to come back and be in an LA Rams jersey. Is he going to stay in LA or is he going to go? And as I mentioned, the top 4 teams right now making calls and inquiring are the Steelers, the Giants, the Raiders, and the Browns. Do you really see Matthew Stafford going to the Giants? I don't see that. Dealing with the New York media, I find that really hard to believe. To the Steelers, it could be Mike Tomlin's there, maybe. Although one of their players, it seems like they're very vocal, right? They definitely were vocal about not wanting Aaron Rodgers to come to Pittsburgh. I see the Raiders. I think what the Raiders are doing is very interesting. And then the Browns. I don't know about that. So let us know your thoughts. This is a Ram show. We're going to try to keep you guys updated as often as possible with this Matthew Stafford news. I really hope he stays, especially on the heels of Cooper Kupp leaving. But there's also discussions of trading them as a package. All right. The news is so interesting, especially right now. I love it. Fingers crossed we keep Stafford, but again, this is a business. I'm Erin Coscarelli. We will keep you updated on Bleav in Rams, but that is a wrap for today, Tuesday, the 25th, and we will talk to you guys soon. All right. Thanks, guys.